Now, KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi will take to the stand today on the first day of the Madlanga Commission in Pretoria. The commission is set to investigate the extent of the infiltration in the SAPS, Crime Intelligence, National Prosecuting Authority, the State Security Agency, Correctional Services and the Judiciary. For more rolling coverage on the Madlanga Commission and what we can expect, let's cross over to Sakina Kamwendo, who is there this morning ahead of the start. Sakina, good morning to you.
Well, good morning once again from the capital, Leanne, and of course day one of the Madlanga Commission. And this, of course, is a pivotal moment for South Africa, given the allegations and the veracity that will be tested of those allegations at this commission in the coming months. And of course it is day one, and we're joined now by a retired Interpol ambassador and of course security strategist, Advocate Andy Mashaile. Advocate Mashaile, thanks so much for speaking to us. It's an important day for South Africa, but I have to ask, just in terms of your perspective from an Interpol point of view, where you have served previously, just how vulnerable does things like corruption and maladministration leave South Africa to transnational crime?
Sakina, let me correct. I'm Ambassador Andy Mashaile, not advocate, as they would have it. It is very, very important and significant for us to compare what is happening in South Africa with the international experiences that some of us have encountered. When you look at Italy, you have organizations, transnational organized crime gangs, the mafia, if you will. There's one called Ndrangheta, running the justice system in Italy, running your law enforcement agencies in Italy, killing judges, killing law enforcement agencies for the benefits of their criminal activities. So when I juxtapose that situation with our situation here at home, I hope and pray that this Madlanga Commission, the findings will help our country not to go in the direction of the international experiences that we have seen. It is crucial that we laid out to the people of our country, to our law enforcement agencies, particularly those who are captured by criminal syndicates, that it must not happen, and we must show the will with the findings of the Madlanga Commission as well as the ad hoc committee. Show the will that we are not willing to go down the rabbit hole of being a mafia state or a transnational organized controlled state.
The evidence would suggest, though, Ambassador Mashaile, that we are getting ourselves into a spot of bother as South Africa, given that we saw sometime last year there was this video, for example, that went viral of some gang bosses who allegedly fell foul of some South American cartels. You look at things like that, and then you listen to what Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi had said about the infiltration of some of these gangs into the political structure, into our criminal justice system, and you wonder, how far along are we? You said we shouldn't go down a rabbit hole, yeah. But how vulnerable are we right now?
Very vulnerable. Let me cite an example. The arrest of the two Mexicans in Limpopo with a drug lab worth 2 billion rand suggests that the transnational organized crime gangs or syndicates in Mexico have now changed the modus operandi of infiltrating our country as well as the criminal justice cluster by simply shifting from dropping off contraband down around our coastal areas, your KZN, harbors and border ports, to operating inside our country. This simply says it would be better for those organized crime syndicates to capture someone in law enforcement, to capture someone in and around that area in Limpopo, the communities around there, using the strategies and tactics that they have used, paying people around, buying people food in and around those communities, paying for their school fees. So this tells both you and I and the viewer out there that we are already in the clutches of the bad ones, and we have to act swiftly to make sure that you cut the supply lines of the transnational organized crime syndicates. They operate here. One example, the second example would be your triads operating from Cyril Dean, following their own Chinese foreign nationals into South Africa, extorting them here. And when they are here, because of language barriers and that kind of stuff, they would be a close-knit community that would be easy to penetrate. If you don't pay the triads here, they go back to you at in China, give you a hassle that other side. So when you look at extortion, when you look at money laundering, when you look at abalone trafficking, you realize that also the last few days case of the 20 the Chinese who were sentenced to 20 years each in jail. This suggests to both you and I that criminal transnational organized crime syndicates are alive and kicking in South Africa. They have sleeper cells. They may be operating on a smaller scale so that they can make a quick buck and also expand their operations if we don't deal with the rogue cops in the system.
Ambassador Mashayile, thank you so much for that perspective. And of course, this is, of course, at the heart of what this commission will have to deal with in terms of whether that sort of infiltration has reached the criminal justice system and to what extent it may have infiltrated. So all of that is to be ventilated here at the Madlanga Commission. But of course, right now, it's back to you in studio, Leanne.
Thanks so much, Sakina, giving us great perspective of the importance and, the issues related to this. Remember, download that SABC Plus app and you'll be able to watch all the proceedings live throughout the day. And that is there on the SABC Plus, a special pop-up channel.